Hi everyone. Today's lesson is for Geometry CPM Chapter 1, review of solving equations. So let's get started. Um, First equation, solving for x. Remember, when you're solving for x, you want to isolate the variable on one side. I prefer to use the left side, so throughout today I'm going to try to move my variables over to the other side. First step is to move this 5x over to the other side. By doing that, I'm going to add 5x to both sides. And then I'm going to get 2 plus 3x, these are going to cancel out, is equal to 38. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. And in doing that, I'm going to get 3x is equal to 36. I'm going to divide by 3. Another thing to do is just to multiply by its reciprocal. I usually do that when I have a fraction. In this case, I'm just going to divide by 3 on both sides, and I'm going to get x is equal to 1 to 12. And so that would be the equation, or the solution to this equation. And just to check, if you wanted to check for sure, just plug your values back in. You've got 2 minus 2 times 12, which is 2 minus 24, which is negative 22. Is that the same thing as negative 5 times 12, add 38? So we have negative 60 plus 38, and also that would be negative 22. So yes, our answer works, and we have the correct answer. For this problem, solving for x, the first thing I need to do on the left-hand side is distribute. So what I'm going to do here is take this negative 2 and multiply by both these values here. I get positive 4x, because a negative 2 times a negative 2 is positive 4. So I'm going to get positive 4x plus 6 plus 2x equals 2x minus 54. Now, you have two options in this case. The first option is basically, you have 2x on both sides. I can actually cancel those 2 out, because if I were to subtract 2x from both sides, they would be gone. My other option is to add 4x here plus 2x and then subtract 2x. So either one is appropriate, and you do which one. There's so many different ways to solve an equation. So 4x plus 6 equals negative 54. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides, and in doing that, I'm going to get 4x equals, and I'm going to need to add, because I've got a negative 54 and a negative 6. This will give me a negative value. 6 plus 4 is 10, 60. I am then going to divide by 4 on both sides, and in doing that, I get x equals negative 60 divided by 4. If you're not sure what that value is, you can always go on to the side and say 4 divides into 6 once. Subtract 4, you have 2, bring down the 0. 4 goes into 25 times. Remember, though, that when you are dividing a negative by a positive, your answer is negative. So I am going to get negative 15, and I always put the answers in solution sets, because that shows that this is a problem that I have solved. That is an equation. So my next question is solving for x, and I'm going to distribute this 11 first. And so I have 11 times x and 11 times 12. So we go 11x plus with whatever 11 times 12 is. And you either know that it's 132, or on the side, you can either, yes, you can use your calculator, or you can just multiply on the side. And there's 2 times 1, 2 times 1, 1 times 1, 1 times 1, and you end up getting 132. On the right-hand side, I am going to distribute this negative sign, so I'm going to get negative x plus 12. I'm going to move my x's to the left-hand side, so that means this negative x needs to go that way. So I'm going to add the opposite. So I'm going to add x to both sides. I'm going to get 12x plus 132 equals 12. I'm going to subtract 132 from both sides. And when I subtract 132 from both sides, I'm going to end up getting 12x on the left. These values cancel out. And I've got negative 132 plus 12. And so realistically, I'm going to go 132, because that's a negative plus a positive. So I am going to subtract 12, which is 0, 2, and 1. And I'm going to keep the negative sign, because that's higher. So we're going to have negative 120. Then I'm going to divide by 12 on both sides, and I'm going to get x equals, because these, of course, divide out to be 1, negative 10. And so this is my answer for this problem, which I think on your sheet is problem number 3. For this problem, which is number 4, again, I'm going to just distribute the negative sign to both of the terms in my parentheses, and I'm going to get 7x plus 42 is equal to distribute positive x plus 6. I'm going to subtract x from both sides, and I'm going to get 6x, these cancel, plus 42 equals 6. I'm going to subtract 42 from both sides. This will cancel. I get 6x equals, and again, positive and negative, the negative is higher, so the negative value of the number is higher. So I'm going to go on the side and go 42 minus 6, borrow, and I'm going to get 36. I'm going to subtract, this is going to be negative, because the 42 is negative, it's a higher value, so negative 36. Divide by 6 on both sides, and I get x is equal to negative 6. So this is the answer for problem number 4. For the next question, which is number 5, I'm going to distribute. Now, I don't actually have to distribute on this one, because for this problem, I notice that out in front of my parentheses, I have a 2. Another option is to divide both sides by 2. And in doing that, I'm actually dividing this whole quantity by 2, that whole term. These are going to cancel. I'm going to get negative 3x minus 42. On this side, though, the 2 will cancel into that. I still will have to distribute this 2. So it'll look like 2 times 2x minus 14. I'm going to just keep this on the left until I can simplify on the right, and I get 4x, because 2 times 2x, and then 2 times negative 14 is negative 28. I'm going to subtract 4x, because I'm just going to move this to the other side. So subtract 4x from both sides. I'm going to get negative 7x on the left. So I'm going to get negative 7x minus 42. These cancel, equals negative 28. I'm going to add 42 to both sides. And then these are going to cancel here. I'm going to get negative 7x. In this case, negative 7x. Hold on one second. Boom, is equal to, and in this problem right here, again, it's positive minus a negative. So I'm just going to go 42 minus 28. I'm going to borrow, and I'm going to get 14, so equals 14. And so for this problem, I'm going to divide by negative 7, and I get a little bit tight here. And so for this problem number 5, I'm going to get x equals negative 2. My answer in solution sets, and this is the answer for number 5. For this problem, for number 6, we're going to multiply out. I can't really divide because these numbers here aren't multiples of factors of each other. So I'm going to just distribute, and I'm going to get 5x minus 35. And then I again distribute, equals negative 2x minus 14. I'm going to add 2x. So let me show you how to do that. Add 2x, and I'm going to get 7x minus 35 is equal to negative 14. I'm going to add 35 to both sides, because remember, ultimately, I'm trying to isolate the x, get x by itself. So these are going to cancel, so now my x is by itself almost. I just have to get rid of that 7. This is a positive minus, and so this will be a positive answer, so I shouldn't just on the side go, well, what's 35 minus 14? And that's 21. And then divide both sides by 7, and I get x equals 3. For number 7, for this problem, you're solving for x, but I noticed that, see, for here, x doesn't have, I'm not adding or subtracting. So I have 2 options in this case. Option number 1, I'm going to do this 2 different ways. The first way I'm going to do this is basically just multiply by 19 on both sides. And if I did that, these would cancel, right? And I would get x is equal to 3 times 19 divided by 10. Okay, now 3 times 19 on the side, I could do that. 9 times 3 is 27. Carry the 2. 3 plus 2 is 5, so I get 57. So x is equal to 57 over 10. I could rewrite that as 5.7. My other option for solving this problem is not to multiply by 19. My other option is to cross multiply, and I can do that if, only if, I have one term on the left and one term on the right. Meaning, if I had another number here, I could not cross multiply until I combine those. So what that means is that if I have one term on the left, this is one term, and one term on the right, then I can cross multiply. So I can say 10 times x. So I can go 10 times x equals 3 times 19. Now, ultimately, I am going to get the same answer. X equals, remember, I'm divide by 10 on both sides, right? And then I'm going to get x equals, because he's become 1, x is equal to 3 times 19, which we know is 57, over 10, which is 5.7. So you just have to decide which one is going to be, which one works best for you. Do you want to solve by cross multiplying, or would you just like to multiply by 19 on both sides and get rid of and so that you can isolate that value? That's your choice. For this problem here, this I believe is number 8. We're going to get the x's on both sides, so I'm going to take this 5x and move it over here. So plus 5x plus 5x. These cancel, and I get negative 1 plus 5x, which is 4x, minus 2 equals 30. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. I get 4x equals 32, and I'm going to divide by 4, so I get x equals 8. So for this problem, for number 8, that wasn't as difficult as some of the other problems. So for this problem, I believe this is problem number 10. We are going to distribute, and we're going to get negative 21 times negative 2x. So we're going to distribute this and this, solving for x. So negative 21 times 2, positive 42x. 21 times 38. I did this on my calculator, and I got a 798. Distributing here and here, we're going to get 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4x, and then negative 2 times 76 is a negative 152. I'm going to move my 4x to the other side, and in doing that, the 4x's here will cancel. I'll get 38x minus 798 is equal to negative 152. I'm then going to add 798 to both sides. And in doing that, I'm going to get 38x equals this value here, which will be positive. 798 minus 152 is going to be 646. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 38. And in doing that, for problem number 10, 38, this is 646 divided by 38. Use your calculator. Check your work. 17. Additionally, I always recommend taking your solution and plugging it in for x here and here, because that's going to just check to see if you have the right answer as well. For this problem here, I am going to multiply again the 27, because again, I always look for values that I can reduce if I can, but not here. Using distributive property, we're going to get 27x minus 27 times 31. Equals negative 4x minus 4 times 31. Now, multiplying these out, I'm going to get 27x, and then 27 times 31 is negative 837, is equal to negative 4x, and then negative 4 times 31 is going to be negative 124. I'm going to add 4x to both sides, and in doing that, my x's are going to cancel. 27 plus 4 is 31x. I get minus 837 equals negative 124. And in this part of the problem here, I am going to add 837 to both sides. And in doing that, these cancel. I get 31x is equal to this value here, which will be positive because the 837 is higher than the 124. So we're going to go 837 minus 124, and I get 3. Let's see. That's a 7. 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. 8 minus 1 is 7. So we get 713. I'm going to divide both sides by 31. So on your calculator, take a minute and do that. Or, I mean, you can do that by hand if you wish. So 713, 713 divided by 31, I get 23. So x is equal to 23. And if I have any hesitation about what my solution is, absolutely plug it in. Go, 23 plus 31 times negative 4. Does that equal to this left side after I plug in 23? And you should do that. For this problem, I have a couple of options. And I always like to cross multiply. But if I have one term on the left and one term on the right. However, in this problem, I do notice that in the numerator, I can actually reduce these values. So I'm going to make it easier. So I'm going to reduce first. So I'm going to factor out a 2 out of the numerator here and here. And in doing that, I'm going to get 2 times x minus, and if I divide out a 2, I get 2 goes into 10, 5 times 2 goes into 8, 54 times, like that. So that's all over 2 on the bottom. And then for this value, I'm going to take out a negative 6. And in doing that, I would get then an x, and then plus 6. And then that's all over 3. And by reducing that, after I factored out values, these 2's are going to cancel. And I have x minus 54 equals 3 divides into 6 twice. So I have negative 2 times x plus 6. And this makes the numbers a lot smaller, so it makes it a lot easier to complete the work. So then I've got x minus 54 equals negative 2x minus 12. I'm going to add 2x to both sides. And in doing that, that's going to give me 3x on the left minus 54 equals negative 12. I'm going to add 54 to both sides. And then I'm going to get 3x is equal to, and then for this is a positive and a negative. So I'm going to go 54 minus 12, which is 242, like that. I'm going to divide by 3. So dividing by 3, 42 divided by 3 is 3 goes into 4 once, right? You have 1 left over. 3 divides into 12 4 times. So that answer here, this canceled to be 1. And I end up getting x equals 14. And then we're done. Plug your answers in and check. Just a note, I do have a message for you right here. Is after you're done with watching this presentation, what you should do is finish the assignment by coloring in the parts that you need to do. So thanks for watching. I hope this helped you become more familiar with solving equations and also completing your homework.